Welcome. Today I'll go for unboxing and overview of the VIVO Y20s. So without further ado, let's jump straight to it. Let's pop it out of this paper. There's basically nothing inside, as you can see. Straight to the side. Then inside here, again nothing. Drop it again to the side. Got some paperwork, and the phone itself, and some more paperwork. Inside here we got a charger, and that is an 18-watt charger. It's obnoxiously long considering it's only 18 watts, so that's the downer here. Then we got a cable, so type A to type C. This cable is awfully light. It's made out of foam or something. It's kind of weird sensation here. But basically that's all about that we get in a box, so to the side. And in here we get some paperwork. SIM eject tool, which is all actually plastered together. So I just drop it back in here. None of us really care about the paperwork. And move it to the side. And then in here is the device. So taking it straight out. Let's power it on. Now I already went through a setup, so we don't have to. And yeah, so straight up we're presented with a display and a different language. Okay, I'll be honest, I didn't go to the setup, but one of the co-workers did. So let's actually change the language to English. And there we go. Now let's see the brightness. Okay, it is maxed out. So straight out of the bat you can see, just get rid of that. There we go. So straight off the bat you can see the display, and that is a 6.51 inch display with a resolution of 720 by 1600. Nothing really special in terms of resolution here. Now it is also an IPS LCD display, so again nothing special here as well. 81.6% screen to body ratio with a 270 pixels per inch. Now the screen to body ratio is okay, although the chin of the display right here, it is kind of big, and I definitely would prefer a smaller one, but I guess it is what it is. And yeah, so the display, like I said, not very impressive, nothing really special here. So let's move to the cameras, which there is 3 of them all over the phone. So we have one at the front, and that's an 8 megapixel wide sensor that shoots at 1080p 30 frames, and well, in this teardrop notch. Then if we lock it and flip it over, we will have already fingerprints all over the display, as you can see, with this actually quite interesting surface. This is smooth, just so you know. But the way the light reflects is a little bit weird. It's kind of like going all around the camera. As you can see, the camera is basically like the focal point of here. So yeah, and talking about the camera, right at the back there's 3 sensors, and the main one is a 13 megapixel wide sensor, and then we got 2 useless sensors, which is 2 megapixel macro and 2 megapixel depth. Although the macro might be able to do something, considering the main sensor is only 13 megapixels, so the macro might actually capture better photos in close-up than the 13 does. But let's actually put that to the test right away. So I'm gonna open up camera, and obviously we have a selfie right here. Let's flip it over. And there we go. Now straight off the bat, it's actually quite surprising. the photos aren't overly saturated, so this looks fairly close to how the plant actually looks like in terms of the display here. Most of the devices do oversaturate, so this cactus right on the camera is super green, which in reality for me it isn't that green, and this is really close to it. Still not that close. It has a bit of a yellowish orangish tint to it, but it is closer than just bright green. So let's start by capturing a single photo. So this is the normal one. Now I'm gonna look for the macro, which I believe it will be in here. Yep, super macro. So let's utilize that as well. So this is how close I can get. Now let's compare the two. Okay, so this is the macro shot, and it looks okay. It looks decent, I would say. Now let's go back to the other one, which is the 13 megapixel, and that's... So yeah, in this phone, the 13 megapixel won't capture better macro shots than the macro lens. So the inclusion of that, I would say, is not actually useless in this case. It actually serves a purpose here. But the macro lens is useless, and I already tested it plenty of times. There is literally no difference between shots if you cover that lens or if you keep it uncovered. You could probably just scoop it out and your photos would still look the same. So like I said, useless lens. So you have in total actually usable lenses 3, not 4. And yeah, so from there, as we can see, the photos are mediocre as expected. The selfie, from what I've seen myself, looks terrible. Whoa, the light here looks terrible. Not sure if you can see, but yeah. Now moving out of this, we can actually go into specifications of this device. So start off with the Snapdragon. So it comes with a Snapdragon 460. You need to look it up. Has also 2 variants in terms of RAM. Both come with 128 gigs storage, and you have 4 or 6 gigabyte RAM. And it also can be extended via SD card, so that is nice. It's also dedicated, so you can still slap 2 different SIM cards and 1 SD card if you want to. It comes with a built-in 5000 mAh battery, so it is an absolute unit of a battery in here, especially for this display. Now the shame here is the 18-watt charger, which is a little bit outdated, I would say. We'd really like to see something, well, a little bit up to date right now. At least 21, 25 watts, something like that. It is a budget device, but it's not budget enough for the 18-watt charger to be justified here. And it has a headphone jack, which is, well, kind of expected from a budget device. Now the thing that isn't expected and acceptable for me from a budget device, even at this price, making it sound like it is super cheap. It comes at 180 euros, which isn't actually the cheapest budget device I have encountered, and not really even close to it. But what is this? That is not Type-C. We live in 2020, and yeah, I will not accept micro SD or micro USB ports anymore on any device. I don't care what the excuse here is. It's just unacceptable in my opinion. Every device right now should have a USB Type-C. Even iPads have it. Why won't this have it? Now, just to put that in perspective, they also have a Y20, which does come with USB-C, and also a couple additional things. It is generally a better device than this. Again, is it worth the money? The Y7 probably is worth at least more compelling of an offer than this is, I would say. For $180, this is a overpriced device that doesn't offer anything that I would well, deem worthy actually to purchase it. It has a mediocre camera, a mediocre display, mediocre charging, completely outdated charging port, mind you. It has a headphone jack, but so has the more expensive version of this device, and so does a lot of other devices at this price range. It has a fingerprint sensor on the side. Now, it is nice that they actually managed to stick it on the side and not on the back, because at this point I wouldn't be surprised if it's on the back, but no, it's right here, as you can see this engraving. Now, comparing it to the bigger brother, the Y70, that device actually has it under display, which is, in my opinion, better, and the display overall is just ages above this one. So it is a AMOLED, while this is just an LCD. And apart from that, not much more to say about this device. It is just mediocre in every sense, I would say, and personally I would not want to get it. Even devices like Huawei, when they the super budget ones for like $110 come with a Type-C, while this manages to have a diluted idea that the outdated micro USB is still okay. So yeah, now finishing this off, do I recommend this device? Nah, not really. If you have more money, I would maybe recommend the Y70, like I said, but this one costs, from what I remember, it was about $280. Let me quickly check it. I did have it written somewhere. The question is, can I find it quickly? Nope, I cannot find it quickly. So yeah, like I said, I believe the Y70 was more expensive by about 100 euros or so, give or take maybe like 10. And honestly, the Y70 will be a way better purchase than this is. But in general, if you're looking for a budget device, this I would not get this one. It is overpriced overall for what you get, and yeah, because of that, I cannot really recommend it. There are basically as good of an options for a cheaper price, or if you plan to shelf out a little bit more, you can get way better device than this. So that's all I really have to say here. And if you found this very helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.